Jay. Hello, hello. Happy Monday. Put it all on the
Hello.
table podcast back. Where the queens talk about it and be about it. I'm Jackie, the wellness advocate.
Raenesha, the social advocate.
I'm
Girl,
Roberta, the tool lady.
and I'm Jay with the H.
All right,
All
ladies. So
right now.
today we are going to be. All right. So today the topic is early childhood mental health. But before we dive into that, I also want to highlight that this month is also Diabetes Awareness Month. And diabetes impacts 30 million children and adults in the US, and more than 1 in 3 Americans is at risk for type 2 diabetes. So, to raise awareness and educate our communities about the importance of glucose screenings and healthy habits for those at risk or living with diabetes, here in Dallas, the Dallas County Health and Human Services has a chronic disease prevention program, and they have a lot of activities going on this month, free screenings and healthy cooking, nutritious demos, live classes that you can go into, or they're actually doing them in the community. So you'll be seeing that posted on our stories so that you can be able to utilize that should you need that, because it really, really is important, to take care of yourself and make sure you're getting your yearly physicals. And also because the statistics amongst Hispanics, both Black and Brown communities, are high for diabetes. We're one of the highest, demographics that diabetes is. We suffer with it, and that has a lot to do with our eating habits and things like that. So be sure, not only our viewers, our listeners, but also you ladies here, my sisters, make sure y'all taking care of yourselves too. And another awareness this month is also Men's Mental Health Awareness. So again, this is just a PSA to be sure that you're conscious of, what this month is highlighting, but also just to be conscious and aware of these different important topics that we should all be aware of and acknowledging. So for Men's Mental Health Awareness, it's most commonly referred to as Movember. And just like we say here, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay for men to also not be okay, because in this society, men are seen as weak if they show emotion or any type of vulnerability, and they are told that since they are boys. And I know this because I've heard, family members tell my boys, "Oh, you can't cry." Nope, that's not true. I quickly stop them. Nope, you're not gonna tell my boys that they can't cry, because they have feelings too. They're humans just like you and me. So don't tell my boys that. So and it's found that 77% of men suffer symptoms such as anxiety, stress, depression. So again, November is Men's Mental Health Awareness. And it's just an opportunity to support and validate that men are also going through it, just like women, right? Just to be aware and conscious. So, y'all, ladies, want to chime in on either of those two awarenesses, diabetes and men's mental health, before we dive into early childhood?
I'm really big on men's mental health. And I want to point out, which I think I've pointed out before, that men's commit suicide at a higher rate than women. And they typically do it in a more violent way than women, because as women, we don't like to make a mess or have anyone clean up anything after us, type of thing. So I just want to invite all of our viewers and listeners to challenge the stereotypes and
Yes.
the social, what's the word I'm looking for? Double standards, really,
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
men's mental health and how important it is. And I also want to invite y'all to do something nice for a man in your life. It could be your dad, your brother, your husband, your man, whatever, your kids. Um, and talk to them about their mental health, check in with them, give them a little education, um, and just be supportive and create a safe space for them to kind of debrief and relax and reset.
Yes.
I
I
like
Thank
that.
love
you.
it.
Thank
Yes, girl.
you.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah,
Roberta.
yeah. I will. I like that you said both of them actually, with mental health and also with the talked about the diabetes in our communities. The mental health, like Nisha just said, for men is very important. They're usually overlooked, and like you said, but they are human. So just again, like Nisha said, just letting them have a safe place. Friday, I witnessed some parents, uh, men parents come together, and they were really open to being in that safe place and talking about being fathers. And I even heard some of the facilitators like, well, we thought, they were going to cry because they get that opportunity. And then if you look at the calendar, we only have Father's Day, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
we have all these other holidays that not necessarily are just women holidays, but most likely, the women do benefit, like Valentine's Day. We got Mother's Day. We usually have Mothers and Daughters Day. So I could hear them kicking around the ball. Like, how many times can we involve men in that calendar that's not involved usually, traditionally? Because they
Mm-hmm.
want to be involved. So I like that you said that, and it has a lot to do with early childhood as well. So it really has a
Mhm.
lot to do with our topic because our children need to be seeing our men be involved like that. Our children need to be able to see their fathers as being human, right, and not being so much of the person we're scared of, or the person that tells us what to do, me and mom, what to do, or
Canary. Mhm.
they need to be able to see father as father, somebody I can trust, somebody that is going to give me direction,
Yeah.
someone who I know that is a man, right? Not somebody that I'm scared of. I've heard people say, "Well, I was scared of my dad," or "I was scared of my father. My father was strict." Blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. But just give them that opportunity. And it said we need to celebrate our men, and we do. We really do. We just don't have enough holidays. We don't even have, like I said, I heard them kicking around the calendar like, when can we put that in? Can we
Okay,
do
I do want
Mm-hmm.
to point out though that this is not a fully national thing, but in the Midwest there is a holiday that's like Valentine's Day for men called Sweetest Day, and I want to say it's in October or November. And I didn't realize that until I moved to the Midwest. And you had Valentine's Day, and then you had Sweetest Day. So Valentine's Day was for women, Sweetest Day was for men, and it was really nice for me to see a lot of women, doing nice things for their man, celebrating them the same way they celebrate us on Valentine's Day. So
Yeah.
I
Wow,
will
that's
practice
neat.
that. You can Google Sweetest Day. It'll tell you what day it is. I want to say the day changes by year, which is weird to me, but that's a good thing to practice if you have a significant other.
Yeah. And I would
Definitely.
also say that as a society, we make like Mother's Day like blows up, right? Like it's a big deal. Everyone, like the kids show out, the husband shows out, and you see all the pictures and all the videos on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. But for Father's Day, you don't see it highlighted so much. Like, yes, there's advertisements. It's Father's Day. Come buy this for your dad or your husband or what have you, your father. But it's not as highlighted, and I could say I'm guilty for that too, like for me, and but also validate that I was going through it during that time this year for Father's Day. That I was like, okay, happy Father's Day, made him breakfast, that was it. But compared to Mother's Day, like, give me candy and a gift and this stuff, like I have to work on it too. I can say, I admit, like I need to do better, not only with my own dad, but also with my husband. So yeah, Jay.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so early childhood mental health, we kind of like talked about it with the autism and ADHD. Um, just a recap, just more so, you can get your child checked out at the early age of 3 years old. So if you do feel like your child is suffering from any type of mental health issues, you can get them. The behaviors is shown from ages 3 to 5 years old. You have early childhood intervention. Um, you also have resources that's coming from the school. So at 3 years old, if you start expecting like abnormal behavior with your children, I say that to get them checked out with that. Um, Man's mental health, I'm more so learning more so about that, so I'll be more so engaging to hear everybody's opinion. Now, one thing I can speak on, like, I do not have a male figure in my life, so I don't have a role model of a male in my life. So I don't celebrate Father's Day. So I don't celebrate none of those things. But I do wish my brothers happy Father's Day or whatever. But I think my opinion, to be honest, just to put it out on the table, I just feel like mothers do a lot than fathers do. So that's why we all, oh, we got to get, and we more attached to our mothers. So that's why we go all out with our mothers, because our mothers call us, our mothers hear us, hear our cry, our mothers spend time with
Yeah.
us, our spend time
Mm-hmm.
with our children. So they do a lot more than a fathers. I'm not saying that fathers don't do much, but they are providers and protectors. So
Yeah.
they mostly at work, or they
Mm-hmm.
mostly, and when they do come home, they tired, they in the football. So they really not, I'm not saying for all fathers, I'm just saying like majority, most of them, because you do have stay-at-home dads that play that role as mothers, while the mothers go out and be breadwinners. But it's just most most of all, most fathers are protectors and providers, and they kind of absent from the home. So that's why, and then they don't really want much when it is time to celebrate them. I think a good dinner and a cake or whatever it do, which a mother, she's more needy, and so she expect more because she feel like it's her day. So that's my more so my input, if I answer y'all question.
Yeah, no, I completely agree that and I think it comes with the fact that we as mom, or we as women, and it's in our nature to be the nurturer, the person that is there up late at night and things like that. And I also will say, like, in Spanish, we call it the machismo culture, and that's the masculinity culture, where some men still have that mindset of like, I'm the breadwinner, I'm gonna come home and just lay down and relax. So I'm gonna say and put it all on the table as well, that some men need to do better. Like, just like your woman, the mama is involved in the kid's life, going to the parent conferences, being in the art and IEP meetings, all that stuff, going to the doctor's appointments. You need to be just as involved as a mom is, because it took two to make that baby or babies. So, it takes some of the weight off, and I made a video about this last week on my Instagram, and I tagged, put it all on the table podcast, saying that we mamas were tired. We are tired, and we need the space to also, get a break. Like, it really takes a village. So I always tell, like, my mother-in-law or my dad, like, I would appreciate, like, and it's crazy that you have to say it. I would appreciate if you could, give me a break. Come over for a few minutes, or can you take the kids for for an hour, or can they stay the night on Friday? Like, I have to be the one to ask. And it would be really great, awesome, if we didn't have to ask. Like if it was just offered. But men, yeah, some men really do have to do better and have to change their thinking because we're in modern times. Most of the time, especially with this cost of living, it's not one person income anymore. It takes two people in the home to be working. And I know like I had to me and my husband had conversations, have had and keep recently have had like hey, I told plain and simple, hey, like when you get home, I know you're tired, but so am I. I've been home with the kids. I dropped them off at school. I worked, and I still coming home and keep cooking and cleaning. Like the least you could do is either take over the cooking or wash the dishes that I'm using while I'm cooking, or go do homework with the kids, or vice versa. We could switch roles. Which one you want to do? So now we have that routine, in place. But for the nights that he's not here, boy, I'm struggling. Like it is hard to do it all by yourself. So all my single moms out there, like I applaud you because y'all have to do that every day. And it's hard. The 2, 3, 4 nights a week that I have to do that, my goodness, I'm like wanting to pull my hair out because it's hard having to do all that after a long, day of work. So yeah.
Did y'all catch the
Yeah.
question that
What
was
did someone
up
I
someone
there?
said
did.
about it's different in each culture or something like
Yeah,
that,
then she
right?
said, "Why do other cultures celebrate it more?" I really don't know. I don't even really have a hypothesis.
Me neither. I don't
I
have
think
insight
it
on that.
go. I think it. Yeah, I think it go back to what Jay said. Our experiences. Each of us, even each of us from different cultures, we still have our own culture within our families. I'll say it that
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mhm.
I came from a place where I did see men, where I did have men. Men were the most important things in my life, right? So they were the caregivers. My babysitters were actually men.
Oh
My
wow,
grandfather was actually he was right there. And yes, they
Awesome.
went to work. You know what I'm saying? They went to work, they cooked, they babysitted, they potty trained. So it depends on what you see because they could
Hmm.
only do these men could only model what their father modeled.
Yeah.
And was it a different model? Yes, from some other families it is. Because some other families, like Jay said, you got an alpha male and they're just, okay, I can't do anything else. But the important thing is, again, is that we have to see it to understand how it works. Because now, like my cousins, they're like that. You know what I'm saying? My son, they're like that. They're hands on like that because that's what they've seen within our culture. So it's very important. Like I said, for early childhood, this actually goes all hand in hand because it is important that we see each model of it and that people that as children we understand that people because what we like to do is cookie cutter people, meaning you
Hmm.
do this, they do that, I do that. That's not how it is. Everybody's different. Now, does it take a while after you've been raised in that environment? Yes, to learn. Okay, it's different. This is a different behavior than what I've seen. But I was raised in an environment of a bunch of men and good men. Meaning, hey, even if you had a child and they married you, that child is their child.
And someone said, so meaning the dads in other cultures work hard also, but they are still celebrated. So trying to see what's the difference. It's cultures, it's different. Like sometimes,
Yeah,
the man could be all in different cultures. Maybe the man is all the provider, the nurturer, the one that does everything. It just
everything.
depends in each culture. Like with me, again, I said like I last year when I wasn't in my episode, my depression last summer when Father's Day came around, I went all out for my husband because his birthday is also in June, and I got him a present and everything. And then the same thing for my dad. I got him like a whole, gift card, shirts, a Yeti cup, like a bunch of different stuff. So I think it's just the
I was
culture,
just about to. I'm sorry.
environment.
Good.
Yeah, also the
Yeah,
environment.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I was just about
That's
to say that. My opinion, I don't necessarily think it's a culture thing. I think it's an experience thing. So
Mm-hmm.
in an environment thing,
that's right.
because I feel like
That's
for the
right.
women that's more submissive towards they men, them the ones
Mm-hmm.
that go all the way out. Them the
Mhm.
ones, hey baby, let me massage them toes, baby. Them the ones that actually go all the way out.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
But you
until
know what? You know what?
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I know where Roberta's going with
No,
this.
I
So
was
go
just
ahead,
gonna say,
Roberta.
Jay,
Go
for
ahead.
for me, that's not the case. The women in my family are a little bit more abrasive and aggressive
Mm,
than the men.
mm, mm,
You get where I'm going with it. So that wasn't the case. You still gonna do what I tell you to do. So I can't say that they was doing that, Jay. They more like I pop you. My grandmother and her sisters are very aggressive. They were very aggressive women. So mainly they like you get out of line, I'm put you back in line.
So
When the
let's talk
men
about
were
that. That's the
different.
So
submissiveness.
that
The
so
men
that's
were
what I
like,
so that's what I was saying. Like
Yeah.
it's not a culture, it's more so the women that's more so submissive to their partners or the environment that they are in.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a husband or I have a father that's really, really involved and that's me and him like we go places, we do things, all of those things. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
when Father's Day come, because I remember when I did have a relationship with my father, I celebrate his birthday. I went all out for his birthday. I went all out for Father's Day, all of that because I was involved, with my father. And if I was to have a husband, same thing. If my husband doing what he's supposed to do, like
Mm.
being that provider, being that protector, coming in, giggling with
Being your peace.
being your piece, of mine. Oh yeah, baby, I'm gonna get them feet done.
I
Okay.
Yup.
also think it depends
Yup.
on it. While it is environmental, I don't disagree
Yep.
with that at all. I don't want us to ignore the fact that it can be cultural, right? Because let's be
Yeah.
honest, a lot of cultures that are not Western cultures, being American and
He to the rub toe, Jay. Okay, but let me tell you,
that
girl, I'm
are
gonna be
very
they
out.
want
traditional.
somebody
They're
to
very
Yeah.
invite.
Yeah.
so like
Non-Western.
y'all were saying,
Mm-hmm.
like it just depends on the culture. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
even though it is environmental, I don't doubt that at all. It just depends on what culture you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like some are so
And
traditional, the women
yeah.
stay at home, and it's to the point where a lot of times, especially like when I think of like third world countries, they do celebrate their men a lot because it is so difficult to survive. Like he has to
Mm-hmm.
work 2-3 days at a time just to have enough money for them to eat 3 meals,
That's
So
the
Yeah.
environment. That's the
and
Yeah.
right,
environment.
right, that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. But it's
Their
also
way of
part of the
living.
culture too, because of
Yeah.
where they come from. That's what men do culturally. That's what they do. Even men that aren't that poor in that culture, the roles just have a different outlook than
Yeah.
Western cultures do. Like, and then
Yes.
I don't even want to get into the whole
Yeah.
feminist thing that Western cultures are so into. I think that plays a role in why men aren't celebrated as much as they are, because I feel
Yeah.
like to a certain point, this idea of feminist movement kind of takes away from that and kind of devalues
Yeah.
That's
men. It
right.
puts more value
Yeah.
into women.
What
So
Yeah.
about the narcissists? What about the men that's in power? You know,
That's why we
um,
said, yeah,
you know,
those,
what about those men that's in power all because they making millions? They wife is baby is sending helicopters, balloons, and all that down, but they really not getting treated right. But they only
mm-hmm,
doing that because of he have money. You
mm-hmm.
Well,
know,
they
they
want that
doing, yeah, they doing
situation.
it for
That's
situational,
right.
yeah.
Like
They
so
want the
situational.
situation.
so exactly that's what I meant by like more so the environment, situations, and all of that. Maybe I don't know.
All of
Yeah.
those play a
Yeah.
factor. All of
Yeah,
them.
Mhm.
everything plays in a role because I with like looping back around what you said, Jay, about the submissiveness. I actually came across a video on Instagram. Um, it was a woman saying women have had to become more masculine and more assertive and more like trying, like having to take up some of the role as a man, because the man thinks that it's just enough to be a provider when
No,
that's
I'm
not
too
just
manly.
enough.
I'm too
Yeah,
manly. Mm-mm.
yeah, like it's not enough for you, a man, to just be a provider. You need to be my peace. You need to
Big
be
please.
showing me love. You need to be planning dates. If a man were to plan the dates, be romantic, be my peace, and also being the provider and sharing the household, load, especially when you have kids,
I
then
ain't gonna
more
lie, that
money
made me
you
want to rub them
can
toes. You hear me?
Okay.
yeah.
Men
Whoa, them
honestly
toes
may
down as soon
not
as you
want
walk
to
in that
celebrate
door.
the way we do.
Someone said men honestly
Um,
may not want to be celebrated the way we do. How do men typically want us to celebrate them? We need
And that's what
examples.
Jackie was saying
I
earlier.
Yeah,
just yeah, Jackie
One of
was just
y'all.
saying it, and that's what I was just saying. Like, do something that's out of the norm that he need. If he's on his feet all day long, I give him a good pedicure, file him and everything.
hmm
Get the hot towel. I done did that before with one of
yeah.
somebody else
Or
dating.
for me, like I'll tell my I'll tell my husband, you know what? You gave me my time and my space, and I had a girls' night or I had a girls' day. You go hang out with your guys now. You go have your night, or you go take your whole day because you gave me mine. Yes, love languages.
Come on,
Some
cousin.
people
I
are,
see you in the
yes,
chat,
yes,
cuz. Come on,
love
you see
languages.
that.
Gifts,
My cousin.
act of kindness. What is it? Gifts, act of kindness, and there's more. I forget.
We talked about it in one
Yeah,
Affirmations.
affirmations.
Affirmation.
Yes,
yes. Is
yeah.
Yeah.
that
So a lot of this
But
it plays a lot. There's a lot that goes into it, right?
yeah, but I wanted to
I also feel like some
spend the
men don't feel
block
like they deserve
on
it,
this.
or that it's too feminine to be celebrated like that.
Right,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right,
Yeah.
Well, is it
right.
more of so like it's just that since they've been working all day and all they do is work or whatever, is it more of so because I don't think all men like that.
No, they
I
don't.
think some men like that. I think the
Mm-hmm.
ones that work really, really hard is the ones that really want to more so relax. So some of the things you can do is like spa day for them, or like I said, get they feet done, or more so vacation. But what's so crazy to me is that how they stuck with the norm. Like I know it's some I know with my brother, he barely like to take vacations. Let's celebrate with the minimum. Like he barely take vacation because he feel like he's gonna miss something. Like
Mm-hmm.
or he feel like that, I don't we got too much we got too much bills and we got too much debt. So they kind of really forget about themselves because they
Yeah.
Yeah.
too focused on getting out that debt,
Yeah.
or no, why are you trying to do that? No,
Yeah.
I don't. They be really, really serious. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, like, do something that's not costly. Like,
Yeah.
it's more so like that's why I said like the bubble bath or a massage at home
Massage.
and rubbing
Mm-hmm.
the feet because honestly, we really
Yeah.
can tell them. Okay, long message. Um,
Yes, I love this.
That's
Living
my
by
other
the golden
cousin.
rule. Do to others how you would want them to do to you. I like gifts
That's
and hot
right.
bath. I'm sure he would too, but that's not to say if he's
All
not doing
right
nothing,
now.
he still deserves the role
Okay,
because
hold
absolutely
on,
not.
Tanner. I'm a,
Yes.
I love that, but I'm gonna tell you right
Yes.
now that don't work
Yes.
because for the longest in my last relationship, I tried to do that, right? And I would
Mm-hmm.
just get so frustrated because I'd be like, "Well, why you gonna let me take you here? Why you gonna let me go get you a pedicure? Why you gonna let me do this? I want to celebrate you." And he's just like, "That ain't how I want to be celebrated. That don't do nothing for me. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
massages. I don't want nobody playing with
Mm-hmm.
my feet. I
Yeah.
don't like the things you like the way you like to
Yeah.
relax and be celebrated.
Yeah.
I don't like that." So I'm like, okay,
What do you want then?
you know, right? Like, why did I not
So
think?
for my husband, he tells me plain and simple, I want quietness. I want to watch my show, a favorite show of mine or a movie, and the kids just you and the not even you. He's like the kids be settled down and you and me together. Just be next to me while I watch my favorite show. Like that's what my husband enjoys. He just wants everything to be soundproof, like
They like
just
simple.
quiet
Mm-hmm.
because it's too much been going on at work, too much probably going turning in his head that he's worried about, probably finances, probably the kids, probably work. So for him, it's like just having that quietness is what he likes. And that's not every man, right? Everyone's different.
I want to pick y'all
No.
head a little bit. Is it
Uh-huh.
because mine is more so like a statement and a question at one? Is it more so? Is it because it's complex men and it's simple men? Is it because they wasn't shown a lot of things
Yep.
growing up?
As a
Yep.
So
social advocate, I just think a lot of men are socialized that they're not supposed to want or need a lot because it's
Yes.
feminine.
Yes.
Like
in
women are
my
the one
second,
that's brave and get all this nice shit. We don't need that because we're men.
okay,
Men,
and my second part is it because I know some men that parents that actually, went on trips and got them involved in the economy and showed them different things. Those are men that actually that's more so spontaneous and that's
Mm-hmm.
more so open to everything versus the men that's been raised that hey, you need to be a protector and a provider and provide for
So
my
this is
for
so
your.
this is a good moment to hop into the early childhood. It starts when they are young, allowing
mm,
them men
Mhm.
to have the safe space and the vulnerability to show emotion. And 50% of young children have mild to moderate behavioral problems, right? We know this. There's either just, oh, that's just normal or it's something else going on there. But the reality of the matter is, just like I gave the example, like literally people in my family say like, oh no, you're not supposed to be crying when one of my kids is sad because of something. Like, he can cry, let him
Nisha
cry. Like,
Kane,
you are not going to teach my son that he cannot cry, because
right?
being in touch with your emotions, just like it's okay for us to cry, it's okay for men to cry, and it's okay for a little boy to cry. Like, we have to change the narrative
Because that's how
that.
you. That's how they learn emotional regulation, and then you wonder. Then you wonder why men grow up and only
Yep. Yes, that's the
outside
healthy
of
social
emotional
and
intelligence. Then
emotional development.
yes, and you wonder why men grow up with no little to no emotional intelligence or any emotion he showed. He angry. He beat no bitches. Excuse my language. So it's just like you gotta teach them
Exactly.
young.
Exactly. If
And,
we
and,
allowed
and
our kids to develop good social and emotional skills, they will be able to be more secure and nurturing and vulnerable as men when they grow up. Like you said, not beating up on women, not holding their anger, like letting stuff stack, 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 and then they explode,
So when
right?
you say so, kind of go into social and emotional skills so people can know those skills, some of those skills.
So why is it
and
that
I
you
Tap
can I
in.
do that?
Tap
Let
in,
me go
Roberta.
ahead and do that for you guys.
Yeah,
Social
it's easy
skills
with the
are
ish.
if you're able to see someone, greet them, able to be social, able to
Mhm.
get along in a social environment, not having the anxiety or not going off because you're in that environment. So that's your social development,
Mhm.
and it is early age. It's early
Right.
childhood, early age that you learn how to go into a setting of other people and not have anxiety or not
Yeah.
have to go off because you feel overwhelmed, but being able
Mm-hmm.
to sit in that environment and not feel any pressure, feeling like
Yep.
you maybe fit in. That's social development. So that's important. Learning how to play with your friends, be kind to your friends, say hello, goodbye. All of those are social skills. So when we go to today's world, a lot of children are not even taught those skills. And so
I don't
that's
think
especially with
that
I
COVID,
think
especially since
it's some
COVID.
parents that don't even know that it's called. Some parents kind of lack the education part of it, and I'm gonna let you finish.
okay,
Um,
okay.
like a lot of
So you're right, and you're right,
Yeah,
Jay.
so it's just
So
more
you're
so like lacking. That's why I wanted
Yeah.
you guys to kind of explain that,
okay,
everything we do, it kind of comes with like a terminology or a
okay.
definition or something like that. So
You're right, you're right.
um
So
sometimes
let me
parents
go to
sometimes parents practice that and don't know they practicing it. That's why I
okay,
was like, let them know the social skills and emotional skills. I'm gonna let you talk. But
okay.
I just wanted to get that out there. Just
All
to,
right, thank you.
I want you
So
guys to
then,
kind of like be
uh,
mindful of our parents that don't know what that means.
Okay, you're right. You're right. And then our intellectual, which is what we're usually looking at when we look at a child, where we're saying, "Oh, he's so smart. He knows all his colors. He knows 1 through 10. I asked him where his name is. He could identify it. Oh, he's such a smart boy, a smart girl." Well, the truth is, if that smart boy or smart girl, no matter how high that IQ, where can they show their smartness at if they can't get along socially? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so just keep that in mind. Where can they show? You may know because your mom, your dad, your grandmom, you all of them, right? But who is gonna know Johnny is so smart if Johnny can't say hello, hi, good morning, my name is Johnny, and actually carry on in a social environment? And it leaves a empty picture right there. So that's social. Then if we go to emotional, which what we're talking about, where we're talking about more behaviors going into that social environment, whether it's screaming, yelling, falling out, throwing, flipping tables over, if it's getting upset just because someone said no, right? Getting
Mm-hmm.
upset, lock, shutting, or if it's shutting down, going to a corner, crying instantly. Those are all things that children do when their
Yeah.
emotional is at a risk. So, and
Let
all
me
behavior
interject real
means
quick.
something.
Let me interject real quick. So I'm gonna give an example with my boys. So out of all three of my boys, my twins are more in tune with their emotions and like being vulnerable and like crying and stuff. So when they are upset because of something, I don't shut them down. I don't say, "Ugh, just whatever. That doesn't, you crying for no reason." No, I tell them, I, at their level, hold their hands, looking at them, and tell them, "What's the matter, baby? What is it that's going on? Why are you upset? What did your brother do? Or, did I say something that hurt your feelings? Did your dad say something that hurt your feelings? Tell me, let's talk about it." So I'm creating that space and I'm holding them, and so it's that touch, and I'm giving them my full divided attention because I want to know, why is it that you're feeling like that, so I can help you through it. So it's just as simple as hearing your child out, validating that they're feeling what they're feeling, be that anger, be that sadness, be that frustration, anxiety, for a reason. So to acknowledge, just simply acknowledge what it is they're going through, and to change again the narrative of, whatever, you're just a kid. You can't, what you sad for, you ain't got nothing to worry about. No, the fact of the matter is they're just tiny mini humans. They have feelings just like you and me who are adults.
Right, right, right. And so that's where you get all your different departments at. But again, I always think about it, like I said, if that child is intelligent, but they lack in emotional, or they lack in develop in the other area of social, then that intelligence really gets them the way they can't do anything with it, because you
Yeah.
have to be able to talk to someone. You have to be
Mhm.
able to show your skills. And
Mhm.
so, like Jay was saying, we've just gotten away from parents even teaching our children social skills, because I seen one of our listeners say it's taught. You're right.
Yeah.
So
It
if
is.
you say, hey, when we go in this room, you ain't got to say nothing. Well, you're saying it to a child. So they're like, yeah, I didn't got to say anything. But later on, it builds some
Resentment.
anxiety, some fear, right?
Yeah.
Because it's no cohesiveness. They don't know how to go into that room of people,
Or even resentment.
or some resentment, right? You
So
Mhm.
got
one of
me.
the things that I want to touch on that I teach the clients that I work with, that are like 10 and younger, is like the ABCDE technique. And this is a way for them to use every skill that us and a lot of our viewers have talked about, and be able to self regulate. So the A is for assess. Assess What's going on? Why are you upset? What happened? Is it the environment? Are you overstimulated? Did somebody, because it's possible that somebody said something last week that you just not feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's what's going
Right.
on, what I'm feeling having to do with, so you assess like what you're really feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
B is for breathing. You need to breathe. How are you going to cope with what you're feeling? C is
Mm-hmm.
for counting. You need to count. Do you need to breathe and count? D is
Yep.
for distance. Do I need to go get distance? Do I need to remove myself from this environment because this is what's triggering me?
Mm-hmm.
And then E is for uh, explaining yourself. Uh, so that's like once you've assessed what's going on, you figured out what your trigger is, you've coped with that. Then if it's something that a person did or something that you feel like you need to talk about, getting that distance can help you understand, okay, how can I express myself? That's what it is. E is for express. How do I need to express myself so that I can effectively communicate with whoever I need to communicate with, my whether it's my mama, my daddy, my cousin, or somebody that made me mad. Hey, I'm having a bad day. This is what's going on with me. I need help, type of thing. So I think that's a really good flow for kids to kind of just develop the basic way to regulate their emotions and communicate and understand quickly.
Yeah.
I like that. I
Yeah, and
like
I would
that. I like
say
it.
it's also the due diligence of a parent, right? If you as a parent, you know, like I can admit, if you're as a parent are telling yourself right now, I can admit that I don't know how to do this. I don't know in how and where can I learn to do this. You can, plain and simple, you could Google, how to communicate with my child, how to validate their emotions, how could I do that? Number one. There's number two, there's videos on YouTube as well, like parent educators walking you through that as well. And with parent educators, there are free parenting classes. I know people don't like the word parenting classes, but don't look at it as if I'm not going to listen to someone else tell me how to be a parent. It's not telling you how to be a parent. It's to provide you the skills, the knowledge, the information, to help you know how to address and validate your child's social and emotional skills, and behaviors. So the parenting classes, I would say, are really, really, really good. And there's many here in the DFW that are free, completely free.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them will say, oh, you need to have a child 5 and under, or others are just completely open to any parent who has any child. Like Momentous Institute, they do on Mockingbird here in Dallas. There, it's offered to anybody and everybody, and they have amazing, amazing, amazing workshops. I've been in those workshops before. So, and someone here is saying, I am a retired educator that has witnessed things in schools. It's all around things. Yes, it's home life, etc. And it's, yes, with the parents, but there's a different time, generations, teaching, nurturing, old school, new school. Yep, it's all in one. Maybe saying that old their grandmas are gone, students do not have the support.
Oh,
More
that's
help is needed for parents, give caregivers, and it takes a village. So yes, letting the kids share and talk to you, and parents, you know giving them that space. And again, it for parents, like I'm gonna say it again, it's okay to ask for help. And if you know, like, I need to do better, or your child, my kids will tell me, like, Mom, you're not giving me the attention that I need. Mom, you're not listening to me.
mm-hmm.
If you know that your child is telling you this, or your child's teacher is telling you something is going on here, they just cry, they throw stuff. I'm trying to talk to them, but they just can't communicate what it is that they're feeling. Then you know, okay, my child maybe needs one-on-one help, behavioral intervention. I, as a parent, I'm gonna need some classes too, so that I know how to address these behaviors without, having to give them a smack on the head, because that ain't gonna do nothing. Especially if your child
Right.
has ADHD, autism, like my son has autism, smacking him, hitting him, ain't gonna do anything. For him, it's really logical and talking him through and helping him build skills like breathing exercises, having manipulative items, a stress ball or something to squeeze because he's
Mm-hmm.
angry, and to talk to me while he's doing that. Someone else says, I'm a widower and I'm open to learning skills. It is hard trying to do that while falling apart. It
Oh,
is.
girl, preach on that.
It is.
Preach
And I
on
can
that.
tell you that because I was in
Or,
survival mode,
sir,
right?
that's a Terrence. My
From
dad was a good teacher.
June to September. I know it's hard. It's hard. I was just telling someone this. It's hard being a woman, one. It's hard being a woman and a mother. And it's hard being a woman and a mother who has depression and anxiety. And it's hard being a woman, a mother, a wife who has depression and anxiety. Like I have all these things on me already, and I'm trying to hold my life together. I'm trying to, keep my shit together and keep on going. But sometimes everything just falls apart, right?
That's
Everything
right.
just comes crashing and burning because we as moms and just as women, we tend to put ourselves in the back burner and we need to stop because in order for you, what's that saying said? You can't pour from an empty cup. You need to fill
No,
your
Yep.
you
cup.
can't.
And
So you can pour
whatever
it to the
Yeah.
kids.
runneth over is for everyone
Then
else.
you can use
You
that
need
cup.
to
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you need to fill your cup. You need to take care of
That's
yourself.
right.
This goes for men and women, right? This goes for everyone. But
That's right.
you have to take care of yourself. And this is coming from someone, again, that was vulnerable a few episodes ago when we talked about depression, that when you're in survival mode, you're just trying to live, right? You're trying to do your best.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying not to die. You're
Yep.
trying to keep your shit together for everyone that relies on you. So yeah, and someone says you have to wear all those hats and trying to help your kids
Yes, you
regulate.
do.
You do. You do. I'm looking at everyone's questions here. And so yeah, it's a lot. And I appreciate everyone, being engaging with this. This topic is hot, y'all.
It is.
I
We do
know.
need to have patience.
With
Yes.
and I think it is one because the other thing is I know you guys are talking about children over the age of 5, but the
Can I
children under
can
the
I
age.
throw this question in there real quick? Because this lady inboxed me. So and y'all can have it. I don't have to
Okay,
respond.
go ahead.
Um
Jay.
it says hello ladies, I have a question. Why is it that my child act out and when my cousin kids come over, they are well behaved and looking at my kids crazy? What advice you can give me to change my children behavior?
Okay.
Mm.
Pull
Well,
Now,
pull
now you
pull
can
back.
maybe, um
Okay, pull back for one, and don't ever, I want to say the word compete, but don't measure your children up against someone else. Don't
yes.
ever do that. And
Yep.
don't measure yourself up against someone else as a parent. That's not fair. Because what may be good for you may not be good for them, and vice versa. Look at what your strengths are as a parent. Because that sounds like to me you've been pretty hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't
And
be
look at
hard
your
on
kids'
yourself.
strengths too. Look at the kids' strengths too, and play off of
Yes.
that.
That's right. Look
Yes.
at all the positives in your household. And then once you do an inventory like that, then do your adjustments. If you got to reach out to someone, I'm a parenting specialist, right? I do early childhood. That's what I was getting to. That's the most important years, the early childhood years.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, after 5, you're gonna need people like Jay and Nisha and myself again, because at that age, you're gonna need some skills, some skill
Mm-hmm.
building. But if you can teach it at an early age when they're children, if you can get them redirected, then guess what? You're going to have that foundation for that child. So
Yeah.
just keep that
Yep.
in mind. That's the most important time of a human's life as far as foundations and all the emotional, your developmental, and your intellectual. The most important
Yes.
time. So try to
Yeah.
get that
And it
in.
could be
But
something going on, underlying issues, concerns with your child that you don't really know. For example, like when my son, he has autism, right? So for him, on the outside, people could think that he is acting bad, but he's not acting bad. He is stimming. That's something that kids with autism do, and they get overwhelmed, and he has to wear headphones. So yeah, so
let me
it's
chime in real quick. What Jackie's saying, that's just my answer, okay? Because I know she said her last sentence was how you deal with mommy behavior. So I'm gonna let Jackie finish that part because her child is
Mm.
autistic.
Yeah. So what was that part, Jay? What was her last sentence you said?
She was saying, "How do I deal with mommy's behavior?" But like you was just
Oh,
talking about your child autism.
yeah. So yeah, every child is different. With my son, I can't compare him with his siblings, right? And I can't compare him to his peers who are not autistic on the spectrum or have any other, diagnoses. So it's just allowing him the space to do it. And plain and simple, when people are staring, I call him out. I'm like, "May I help you?" "Well, why is your child being mad?" "My child's not
Yeah.
being mad. My child is autistic."
Period.
Okay. And he's overwhelmed. This is
It
too
ain't
much.
even
He's
none of
been in
your
the street all
business
day.
anyway. Worry about your own kids.
So
Thank
Right.
you.
I'm gonna add in with that just 2 seconds. I just want to let the person that inboxed me, yes, my mommy is autistic, but the thing is that she's not having behaviors. It's just that she have a speech impairment, so she
Yeah.
cannot voice her opinion at this moment. So therefore, she get frustrated when I don't understand what she's trying to tell me. So that's just FYI, just to throw that in on top of
Now
whatever
we
the other
and,
ladies are saying. Go ahead,
Yeah.
yeah, and we
Roberta.
have a reader, Terrence Lacey.
I'm sorry,
My heart
Terrence.
goes
I was
out
just
to you,
looking at
Terrence.
the picture. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, you know what, Terrence? I was a single parent. Jay's a single parent, so my heart goes out to single parents. And again, be patient with yourself through this
Mm-hmm.
process, and with your 2 year old and your 4 year old. I understand they want a mother, but you be careful with that as well. You just let the process, trust the process. I'll say it that
Yeah.
way, and you
Mhm.
continue this foster, providing an environment that's conducive for them to grow and
Yeah.
nurture. And
Yeah.
you're gonna do fine. I always tell
Mm-hmm.
yourself, I'm doing
Mhm.
good. That's what I
Yes.
had to do as a single
And
parent.
those
So
those
just
babies are
don't be too
grieving
hard on
too.
yourself.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
show yourself some grace. You and your baby.
that's
Yeah. Show
I
right.
also
yourself
That's
want to
some
say
right.
to
grace.
the
Pat
person that
yourself on your back.
DM'd Jay that it's important to understand your children's temperament as well. So when
Yeah.
I know there's like some type of test you probably can do online to understand your child's temperament, but
Yes,
once
there
you
is.
understand their temperament, that'll help you understand what kind of works for them, what kind of don't, like what kind of I don't want to say punishment or whatever, but just understanding their temperament will really tell you a lot about them. So look into that.
I
Yeah.
like
And I would
that.
Well,
say,
I know my child's temperament. The thing is just more so me just communicating, being verbal and being patient, and
yeah.
kind of like comfort her when she is frustrated. So that's pretty much somewhat what I do. I just didn't
Mhm.
have I just let you guys respond versus like regarding the lady wanted to know more so
Yeah.
how she can get her kids
Yeah.
behavior under control. See, I only have
Mhm.
one child and my child is autistic, so I just haven't experienced multiple children that have behaviors. I see them, that's why I send them with a mother, so or with their parents, but I never just had a child that I actually in the home and they acting out. So I don't know because I can get overwhelmed and probably have anxiety and all other. So I'm not the
Mhm.
person to.
Yeah. And like with me, with multiple children, right? And each of my children have different personalities. So Anthony's autistic. Alex is my overly sensitive and has a speech impairment. So sometimes when he tries to tell me what's wrong, I don't understand him. So then he shuts down because I don't understand him. And I just have to support him and tell him it's okay, try again. And then Leo, he's the child that tells me plain and simple and has an attitude and sassiness to tell me what's going on and how he feels. So I think the key things to take from this is take the time to observe your child to find out what really makes him or her tick. And these are some pointers. Be affectionate. Help your child learn to resolve conflict in appropriate ways. So instead of yelling, verbalizing. And if they can't verbalize, like my son, I used to have to use, and I don't know if Jay, you have to use this, cards. so that they can show you what they're feeling, sad, anger, smiley face cards, so they
Yeah,
can
I
know.
have those. She's not there yet though.
Yeah. Support your child's developing skills. Help your child experience give and take relationships. So to know that in a relationship, in any relationship, you have to give and you also take. Ask for help from others when you need it. It's okay to ask for help. Just like it's okay to not be okay, it's okay to ask for help.
Right.
Help your child feel safe. I think we mentioned that a lot, right? And help your child respect differences and appreciate their own and other cultures. So, also doing your due diligence as a parent to inform them that kids are different. There are autistic children, there are children with Down syndrome, there are children with ADHD, there ADD, depression, anxiety. Like everyone is different. So, just also doing your part in informing the kids that everyone's different. And that conclude, it's 9 o'clock, but I think I summarized everything, right? And we'll create some graphics too and put it in our highlights as resources and post it as well. What you can do, resources, we'll be sure we post resources, because I really feel like everyone who's chiming in wants resources, wants to know, how do I do better? How can I do better? How can I be better? And how can I support my child? And we're going to do our part to be sure we post that on our Instagram and Facebook. Right. So thank y'all. We'll see y'all next Monday at 8.
Like us
And
on Facebook, subscribe on
yes,
YouTube, put all in the table
All
podcast.
right.
yes. Follow us.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.